Hey everyone! If you're new here, I'm Macaron. If not, welcome back. This week's video covers part 1 of Creatures and Characters, my mini-series where I develop the animals and important characters before I begin writing my book. By the way, if you aren't subscribed, I would appreciate it if you could. I'm only 2 away from 80 at the time of recording. Let's begin, and as always, no spoilers ahead. I'm starting by drawing 2 of my creatures before designing one of my 3 main characters. The first one is a bit interesting. I started with a snake-like base, but I decided to give it front limbs. Real snakes never have any of these though. The closest you'll get is a snake-like skink. Since this is a fantasy novel, I wanted to include elements that you just don't see in nature, but would still make sense from a biological perspective. I was struggling at first to draw the head, but I realized I was placing the eyes wrong and also decided to make the head a bit more rounded. For the color palette, I went with a brown body occasionally broken up by green splotches. This is to give it camouflage from predators, but not while hunting. You'll learn more about that later. While drawing the highlights of the scales, I was struggling to think of how to do it, but I settled on just making it shiny instead of drawing in some of the highlighted ones. Alright, that's all I have to say on that. I'll catch you at the final product. Alright, here we are. This animal is called the mole snake. It usually lives between 14 and 19 years. They inhabit the swamps and grasslands to the southwest of the continent. The diet of a mole snake usually consists of small amphibians, birds, mammals, reptiles, and fish. They hunt by burrowing the ground with their claws, and by sensing vibrations in the ground, they pinpoint and strike their prey from beneath. A mole snake's breeding habits consist of building a burrow containing a nest that's about 2 feet in diameter. They mate for life and return to the same nesting spot every year. They don't lay more than 1 clutch per season, with each containing about 20 eggs. The second animal is also a reptilian one, except this one came to me in a dream. No, like, literally. My brain created it from scratch while I was sleeping. When trying to replicate it, I was thinking along the lines of something like a tegu or a Gila monster. The most prominent features of this animal were the very large spines across its body, like a thorny devil but on steroids. After struggling to position the mouth, I proceeded to struggle at the limbs. I was not at my best that day, but the drawing turned out nice. The creature lives in arid, shrubland regions and gets most of its water from its food. It isn't venomous in any way, but its spines often lead people to believe so, even making up stories about others who died after being stabbed. These creatures, however, aren't aggressive toward people. In fact, if they sense footsteps, they'll run in the opposite direction unless they know that it's their prey. I have nothing more to say on this one, so I'll see you with the creature summary. The final name of this animal is Spitegula. They usually live between 27 and 33 years, with their diet consisting of insects, but also scavenging upon larger corpses. They inhabit the Aranchola Mountains that act as a barrier to the desert, as well as to the areas to the south and a little bit to the north. Both parents are engaged in raising the children, but they choose new mates every year. They have large nests of 1 to 1.5 meters, with spaced out eggs at an average of 5 to 7 per clutch. They lay up to 2 clutches of eggs each breeding season. The final drawing of this video is the first of the story's 3 main characters. You won't get more than backstory outside of the books, but I must tell you that these people certainly aren't human. They're rather human-like, mainly in lifestyle and social structure, but they're much more like a lemur, sporting fur and even tails. Wait, don't leave. I promise it's interesting. If you have any species name ideas, let me know in the comments. This character lives a bit ruggedly, often going out and exploring the forest. She falls quite a lot in her haste, so she needs to wear elbow and knee pads to avoid being scraped. I don't want to say too much quite yet, so I'll meet you at the summary. I decided to name this character Yolanda at a friend's suggestion. She is 15 years and 8 months old, and you should probably know that each year is 20 months long in this universe. When she isn't exploring the woods, she can often be found chatting with her friends. While she isn't always the most attentive in school, Yolanda's ability to think quickly allows for good reaction time and decent performance under pressure. Thank you for watching this video. I'll make more of this series as necessary, and I will be continuing my other series too. Next week, I'll be designing more of my own Pokemon. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!